I remember years ago traveling in the States with my kids and driving down the highway and just asking them where they want to eat. And you know, they have signs along the highway, and they said that one. And it's the most noticeable one, the big golden arches. They notice that more quickly than Burger King, or Wendy's, or whatever the case may be. There was another one. I would tell my contacts in Woolworths. I did work at Woolworths for a while. I don't know how old my son was. I got a different car. He's young, 5, 6. He says, "Where'd you get this car?" And so I told him. But when a kid says that, there's something going on in their brain. So I said, "Why do you ask, Jordan, where?" He says, "Didn't you get it at Edgar's?" I said, "What made you think I got it at Edgar's?" And he points on the dash, and the emergency flash has a red square. So he picked it. He thought, well, this must be from Edgar's. Makes total sense. But I also like the creativity stuff. I do some work with creativity, and I liked the same child when he was young. He liked a certain breakfast bowl, but he didn't know the word purple yet. So he was trying to describe it one morning. He says, "I want that one, the nighttime pink one," which was quite an interesting way to articulate purple. He didn't know the color. Okay, my name's Bill Miller. I run this organization, do all kinds of stuff in organizations. I'm going to do a little fun thing with you around change today. As we all know, change happens. Look at your own lives. People born, people die, people get sick, people get better, people get married, people get divorced, and they call Robin there to sort things out. People change jobs, they move. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on in life. It happens all the time. Now, why is there a picture of a truck here? I use this story when I talk about change. A transport company, bakers or whomever, wouldn't hire somebody off the street, just an arbitrary person, and they're just about an arbitrary group that you can get, and put them in that truck and say, "There's Joburg, good luck." So, like I say, they would do that. And yet, a lot of organizations put people through a lot of change. In essence, they put them in the truck of change and say, "Joburg is that way, good luck." Now, some people get there, and the arbitrary person in the truck might get there too, depending on what they know about trucks and driving. And you put me in a truck, I'll do that, because my dad was a truck driver. It'd take me a while, but I'm not afraid of it. But there's an unnecessarily high risk of damage, death, and destruction if you do that too often. And the same thing with change. If you just have a little bit of basic understanding around what you're going to go through when you go through change, as an organization or even as a person, you increase the likelihood that you're going to get to where you want to go. There is a process that one goes through when you experience significant change, be it personal or organizational. I run this often in organizations who are going through change. And when people go through it, they say, "But hang on, this is about life." Yeah, it is. Change is about life. Whether change is good or bad, and whether it's internally driven, something you decide you're going to do, or it's externally imposed, something that happens to you through some other circumstance or some other person. There's a process. Sort of looks like this. I mean, this is a model we use. I'm not going to worry with the detail now, but if you research change, if there's any validity, there's some overlap. I don't know if any of you read anything by Kubler-Ross on death and dying. She's dead herself now. But she wrote about how people come to terms with terminal illness. I think she has 5 phases or steps instead of 6, but there's some research behind what people go through. It's predictable. Now, I don't have time to go through all that, but I want to, as I said in the advertisement, I want to do something a little bit fun with you. You need something to write with. I've got some pens if you don't. I'm going to find out, you're going to find out, you know when you open these magazines and it has this quiz, how good are you at what? You're going to do one of these puppies now. 1, 2. You can't change people overnight. But when people have experienced bad consequences of change in the past, it's no wonder that they become more and more resistant to, afraid of, or whatever about change. And so what we're trying to do in this program is help people begin to see, because if you go back to this, let me go back to it. In this program, again, there is validity behind it. what this thing begins to do is help people see where you are. There's another little thing we do. We take a particular change that you're working with, whether it's an organization or personal. You fill out another little questionnaire. It'll tell you where you are. Why is that important? Well, there are certain things. They've studied successful changes. And if people are in that state, there are things that you do. If you do them, you move. When I run the workshop, people often move because they begin to say. So, and it's also important if you're leading an organization or people, if the majority of your people are here or here or here, you need to lead differently. You need to act differently. And if you have a team of people, sometimes some of you are more adept at helping people at certain stages than others. Because sometimes when people are here, some people say, yeah, just give them a cuff alongside the head, a good snort clap or whatever. No, that's not what they need there. They need somebody else who's a little bit better at handling. And so we have all kinds of things. So that's it's sort of a fun thing to do in terms of where you are and whatever. And I was going to be the last person, where am I here? I'd say the end, but I'm not. I was going to tell you to take the rest of the day off, but no, you better get back to work. But thank you for coming. But we're not finished yet because we have the Brit. So Ian,